What's going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end so you can hear the full story and all the details in the case. Everything in this video is alleged. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. When most people decide to jump into a committed relationship, it's usually because they are feeling each other and can see a future with that person. At first, things are always good. Your significant other will give you and show you the best version of themselves. But as time goes on and that mask comes off, now you see who you are really dealing with. For some, they understand. Nobody is perfect. They are willing to stay down, work through their issues with their partner, maybe because to them, things are not that serious, or they love their person and think they can still build through whatever is going on. I'm pretty sure we all have or had family or friends that's in a crazy relationship. Some might call it toxic. They cheat on each other, play tit for tat games, put hands on each other, break up just to make up, be right back together, smiling like nothing ever happened. For most, they mind their business and stay out of people's relationships unless they put you in it, meaning they call you for advice or to vent. So now you gotta hear everything that's going on. But you have to be careful what you say, because if you say, well, just leave, and they do get back together, now you are the bad guy. But minus the petty arguments, some situations are a little more serious than others. Like if you have a person you are close to in a relationship and they are getting hands put on them, those calls go a little differently, especially if it's somebody like your sister. Now you are on edge and the protective nature kicks in. Most of us are taught to protect our family, no matter what, no questions asked. And for that reason, a phone call from a family member saying somebody is trying to hurt them can turn fatal. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it right outside of Detroit to Warren, Michigan, to discuss the case of two siblings whose sister was in a toxic relationship, so they took matters into their own hands. Back in 2024, 23-year-old Stanley Smith Jr. was navigating life in Michigan. Described as a likable young man, loved by family and friends, and was just trying to figure out life. Stanley was a father of two. He adored his kids, and even though he wasn't with his baby mother, he was an active father. He worked hard as a machine operator to make ends meet. Outside of work, he loved to link up with family and friends, dance, tell jokes, and have fun. Nicknamed Bam by the people closest to him, the young man was in the prime of his life. He was even in a committed relationship with a young woman who we'll call Kay for the sake of the story. At first, everything seemed good. They were building, both working, living with Stanley's mother, until they got on their feet. But towards the end of 2024, after being together a little over a year, it seemed it was trouble in paradise. According to Kay, Stanley had anger issues. He would often zap out in his mother's house, punch the walls, and when he was mad at her, cuss her out and put hands on her. She claimed he was always lying to her as well. And when she would try to leave him, he would break down and beg her to stay. And it would normally work. But Kay wasn't alone out here. She had siblings who had her back and would be right there if she called, including a sister that lived in the area. She was at the time 30-year-old Keshawna Smith. By November of that year, Kay had talked to her sister and was for sure done with Stanley. She moved out and told him it was over. But being in the same area, she would often see the young man. And according to her, he would often come to her family's house and beg her to come back. She assured him they could be friends, but the relationship was over. She stated Stanley didn't want to take no for an answer though. According to Kay, the young man started back getting aggressive, throwing things at her car when she rolled through the neighborhood and seemed angry about the breakup. On November 8th, 2024, Kay was at home. When she alleged in the early morning hours, Stanley walked to the house and again asked her to reconsider the relationship. She felt bad for the young man as it was cold outside, so she offered to sit in her car and talk, then drive him back home. This is where things take a turn. According to her, Stanley again became irritated that she didn't want to get back together. She became uncomfortable because earlier that day, he texted her a picture of a gun. She stated he asked, "Who you with now?" before snatching her phone. While in the car, Kay claimed he then stated, "Since you don't want to be with me no more, I would just end it all right here." She told him no, think about your kids. As she saw him reaching, she thought he was grabbing a gun. Seeing the opportunity, she grabbed his phone and jumped out the car. According to her, Stanley then started to chase her through the neighborhood, yoking her up, trying to put hands on the young lady, until a neighbor came out the house and asked, was everything okay? Seeing the man, he ran to his cousin's house, who also lived nearby. He still had Kay's phone, and she had his. He called his phone and asked her to come to his cousin's house to retrieve her phone. Scared her neighbor would call police, her and her sister went to the house, but not before Keshawna texted her big brother about the situation, say Kay's ex was geeking and putting hands on her. When they went to Stanley's cousin's home, this is where the stories conflict. Kay's family stated Stanley was putting hands on the young lady as her sister tried to help, and that he wouldn't give her phone back. Stanley's family stated it was more like a tug of war between the two for the phones, but seconds later, shots went off. Stanley stumbled and tried to run, but he collapsed. His peoples called local police, who responded to the location to find the young man suffering from gunshot wounds, and unfortunately, he wouldn't survive his injuries. At first, both sisters denied they knew who shot the young man, or exactly where the shots came from. Kay described the police a domestic situation between her and her ex that happened earlier that day. But Stanley's peoples claimed it was her brother, 32-year-old Deandre Jones, who pulled up, no talking, and just shot. They claimed they heard Keshawna on the phone before the shots went off, saying, "We down here, pull up right now." A search of her phone showed she was in contact with her brother and deleted text messages between the two. It didn't take long for Deandre to be picked up, taken in for questioning. At first, he denied being the shooter, but with witnesses and phone records placing him on the scene, he was taken into custody, charged with second-degree hit and tampering with evidence. Keshawna also was arrested and charged with tampering as well. The case was pointed to as siblings who chose to take the law into their own hands. Both siblings would make bail and fight the case from the streets. As the case made its way to trial, there were mixed stories. Deandre's lawyer pointed to the fact he was a working man and active in his community and church. He never got in any trouble and had the right to carry a gun. Keshawna also was clean and didn't have a record. As their sister Kay took the stand and explained her relationship with Stanley and exactly what happened that morning, she showed how she balled up as he allegedly stood over top of her and put hands on her. Deandre's lawyer stated, seeing his sister in harm's way, he had only seconds to make a decision, and he shot in the heat of the moment. But Stanley's people also testified and stated that's not at all what they saw. His cousin's fiance stated she saw a tug of war over the phones, not Stanley putting hands on Kay. And she saw Keshawna flag her brother down as he pulled up, and the two sisters moved out the way, like they already knew what Deandre was about to do. As the jury sat and listened, Deandre's supporters sat outside the courtroom and prayed. But the jury didn't see the case as second-degree hit, but manslaughter, in which he was found guilty of. He faced a sentence of a mandatory 2 years and a max of 15 years. I couldn't find any information on how much time Deandre received. Keshawna pled no contest to all her charges and received 45 days in jail. Rest in peace to Stanley. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. There's always three sides to every story. His side, her side, and the truth. If it went down like that, it's never right to put your hands on a woman. I'm not saying Kay was lying or telling the truth, but unfortunately, Stanley is not here to tell his side of the story. It's a lot of elements to this situation. So I'm going to end this one with a few questions. If Kay was your sister and she claimed to have an ex who was putting hands on her, how would you handle the situation? And do you think it was just a toxic relationship between the two? Or do you think everything went down exactly like she said? Let me know in the comments. And remember, we got to succeed, not to fail. So we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, this is a super crazy one. But I ain't going to talk too much more about this one. Y'all definitely leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.